Recording. There you go. It changed the
Yeah, I got a dot.
You there?
I'm here.
All right. So here we are, the Repeat Offender Podcast. It is the first official Skype because we had to change the format because who thought this would be easy? You know, trying to get recording times down and trying to use the equipment and trying to put this shit up and trying to make millions of dollars and not have to fucking work. Who knew that would be an issue? Not me. So here we are. I'm me, as always. Here's Tommy. Tommy, you're in fucking Wyoming right now, aren't you?
I'm in fucking Wyoming, man.
You were Bronco busting. You went out there to rope and ride some cattle because it's seasonal work for a man of your stature. You know what I was watching last night? I was watching Brokeback Mountain. I was thinking of you, but not because of that, but because of the scene where he runs into the grocery store to give his wife the kids. Well, she's working because he's like, there's work. I can't turn down to work when the calf's being birthed, and that's what I think of you. You're like, I gotta run out. And he was in Wyoming too.
Yeah, maybe. I thought that was Montana.
Nope, Wyoming, the Brokeback Mountains.
I don't know. It might have been.
That's 100% because Wyoming is probably the most masculine state in the United States.
I don't know if it's masculine.
Dude, it's what is the main place in Wyoming?
I don't fucking. They have a main place.
No, like there's like a big city in Wyoming, and it's like a fucking.
Yeah, they got Casper, Gillette, fucking.
I think it's Gillette, Wyoming. Somebody told me one time that Gillette, Wyoming's like a fucking dangerous town.
I don't know. It's not very big. I went there to drug test. That motherfucker was pretty small, but they got Casper and whatever. But I could see it dangerous, like, because the breeding pool is probably kind of low here.
Yeah, like it's the kind of place that you'd see right out of fucking Tombstone.
Well, I looked on Craigslist or whatever, and they was a bunch of dudes looking to clean pipes. So, I mean, that tells you how bored they are.
Is that like a metaphor or what?
That's what they posted, looking to clean pipes.
I'll suck your dick if you pay. We'll go make rent this month.
Well, since the government shut down the sex trade on Craigslist, they had to get creative how they worded shit, I guess.
Shout out to our sponsor, Craigslist Personals. We'll hope you come back one day.
Yeah. They're
now entertaining. What do you got? You don't have Craigslist Personals. Were you supposed to send subliminal messaging through fucking want ads and stuff? Like psychopaths used to do?
They just wanted to push it to Tinder, I think. Tinder probably had some lobbyists and like Craigslist is fucking us up. So Tinder.
Yeah. I wonder how Tinder's working, if that's still up and running. I mean, I know it's running. I just wonder like if it's getting a lot of business or if everybody's like, hey, I'm horny. They're like, yeah, I'm really horny too, but I'm scared of not flattening the curve.
They're probably glory holing up, you know what I'm saying? Because they feel safe with the barrier between them.
Do you think that would work?
I think that it could work.
Well, it says that like what was it on metal, the fucking virus will stay for like 30 minutes, and on plastic it's like 3 hours. So what if you're getting your dick sucked through like a Tyvek or a particle board glory hole?
Or you could just kind of maybe pour some vodka on your dick when you push it through.
Vodka?
Yeah.
That's just, there's all kinds of sadness about that.
I'm just saying, like, hand sanitizer's running low, but you could probably still find vodka at the drive-thru.
I haven't had any problem fucking finding hand sanitizer. They even have hand sanitizer stations for the homeless out here.
Well, they told me that some of them liberal people said this is all a scam.
I heard our president told us it was a hoax, so I don't know what to believe here.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fucking a flu doctor. I don't know what the fucking the
flu doctor.
I'm not a virologist. I don't know what the fuck it is, but an epidemiologist. I don't know what the fuck it is. I can't get on the microscope and tell you what corona looked like. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
It looks like a beach ball with little mushrooms all over it.
Yeah, but it could not be true. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, have you inspected corona to know? Have you had third party testing? I don't know.
Not so far because I've been trapped in the house, or else I would have been on top of it.
You know, I'm just saying, like, I'm not sure that I believe it all, because we had this bull market going, right? That was it was unstoppable. Like, you know, like it was gonna crash. Like hyperinflation and shit was about to start because they were trading at astronomical numbers that could not be. You know, there was nothing to base it on. So the market had to come crashing, right? At the same time, the Chinese people are protesting for democracy, right? And on the world stage. And then all of a sudden, here's some shit, a reason to quarantine everybody and start harvesting kidneys and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, obviously Trump don't understand what the fuck's going on. Like, I mean, he don't know nothing about none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And then now you got this motherfucker doing press conferences without the presidential seal or the presidential flag behind him. What the fuck happened to that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Are you talking about that goddamn video where they were trying to, like, it was allegedly the Department of Justice, and they were trying to charge some fucking doctor for working with China? Are you talking about that video?
No, I don't know that video, but they did arrest a Harvard professor for getting Chinese money for setting up that genetic lab in Wuhan.
I think it's a little bit more complex than that, because there was a like I was just talking about, there's a video that people post, because you know how, like, on fucking social media you'll see the same shit over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And people keep posting this thing, and it's this bald dude, and he's allegedly from, like, the Department of Justice or something, and he's talking about how they're fucking they're arresting some doctor. It was there is something with, like, a doctor in China, but it's more like obtuse than we understand about it. But when you watch the fucking video, you know, it separates the men from the boys. If you look at this video and you can't fucking tell this is fake, somebody created this, like, then you should just stop making decisions for yourself at this point. Because of the video, there's no official seals. You can tell it's like a 4K camera.
I'm talking about actual presidential fucking telecommunications, that his podium now says White House, Washington. The presidential seal's not on it, and the presidential flag's not behind him no more, just the United States flag. So I don't know if he's like in a bunker or some shit, you know what I'm saying, or what. But like all his press conferences lately, the presidential seal's missing.
Well, good. It was ugly. It should be redesigned. You know, they redesign the military symbols every, like, couple of years. You ever seen that new Army commercial, and they're using Chicago's 25 or 6-4?
No,
like, fuck is that?
I don't know nothing about Chicago except for it's got fucked up traffic.
I'm talking about the band Chicago.
Oh,
Peter Cetera.
I never heard of it.
All right, let's get back on track. So I pulled up something for you. I thought you would like. And, oh, by the way, so just to let everybody, all four people who listen to this, not including my wife, we're going to be talking currently, as we speak, we're in the midst of a pandemic, a strain of coronavirus, a novel strain, which is new in the same spiritual family as, like, SARS and other upper respiratory diseases, is running rampant, allegedly, throughout the world, and government leaders, world leaders, have officially shut the fucking world down. Commerce is gone. Barely anybody's working. Everybody's got to stay home. All the people got to wear masks. Hand sanitizer and toilet paper is gone. I'm 38 and I live with my mother-in-law. The world's fucking falling apart. Okay, so just we're up to speed on that, and as, like, for posterity as a timestamp. Also, at the same time, there's a forest fire outside Chernobyl, and there's fucking locusts in Africa. Now, I'm not.
And there's the ozone hole above the North Pole now.
Well, I'm not religious, unless I have to be. But, you know, if this is the end times, and we're sitting here, you know, fighting over masks and fucking toilet paper this is probably not what we want to be doing when Jesus comes back. He's like, hey, oh, my flock, I'm here. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, where's all the baby wipes? What the fuck is this? And we're like, we didn't clean up house before you got back here. Sorry. Because then, you know what comes next is those big horse scorpions. You ever read the Bible?
I read the Bible once or twice, but like, you know, I don't know about no horse scorpions.
Oh yeah, dude. It's in the book of Revelation where they open up the pit, right?
There's a lot of shit in Revelations that I've never heard of. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Well, it's the only chapter I've ever read because it's the most action packed. Everything else is about like it's like allegories and
I don't know. I joined the ancient astronaut theorist group on Facebook recently, and there's a lot of information out there. A lot of information.
I'm glad people are staying busy during the pandemic. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we had some informational, some awesome reading and opinions and shit. Like, you know, I don't like the status quo fucking education. I don't like the propaganda and all the bullshit. And anyway, so then you start seeing some off the fucking, you know, path, you know, theories and shit, you know, and then when you can validate it, you know, based on, you know, actual fact, some of the shit, you know, raise your eyebrows a little bit.
Okay, so there's this girl, shout out to Mary, that she's, I wouldn't really call her a conspiracy theorist because she doesn't like to take a lot of accountability or credit for the things that she tries to sell to people. But instead she kind of goes, you know, she'll post something that's seemingly ridiculous, and then when you kind of call her out on it, and then she's like, well, it's food for thought.
Food for thought.
Kind of like, you know, Alex Jones and the government's working with interdimensional beings to try to create a breakaway society, which, as we stand here, is just so fucking weapons graded retarded sounding. But then after you tell somebody that, you're like, well, it's food for thought. Well, it's food for fucking thought if you're reading an Isaac Asimov novel.
Thought, okay, we've reached a point in the world with so much information that they can tell you the truth and it sound crazy because there's so much crazy in the world that you'll never be able to decipher all the fucking information to realize that you just read the fucking truth, right? And, you know, so if they give you 99% bullshit and then tell you the truth in there too, and then they're like, well, we told you the fucking truth, but you was all caught up on this other shit and didn't listen. We told you we was taking over and we was going to kill half the population and make you slaves and make you homeless, and everybody was going to go back to the bush and start, you know, fighting and fucking, you know, but, oh, that's right, you lazy bitches was worried about Instagram instead of learning how to can fucking vegetables, you know what I'm saying? How many of you motherfuckers can butcher a deer? You know, how many of you motherfuckers are going to mask up to go feed your family? You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's right, none of you, you know, because you live in the fucking city and you ain't got nothing to fucking go get.
Well, I'd be fucked if canning vegetables was the deal. Not because I can't do it, because I can in fact do it. I grew up white trash, but I don't like vegetables.
I love vegetables. Nigga. What
oh
the fuck?
Man, it's fucking pulling teeth for me. Yeah, just not good. But anyways,
a lot of women had bad experiences. Like they used like brittle vegetables and they broke off in their vaginas and shit. So I could see how that could traumatize an individual.
Have you ever gone like when you're in the grocery store and you look at all the phallic shaped vegetables, or fuck it, even like broccoli, and you're like, I wonder how many people, what percentage of people shopping right now are gonna go home and abuse these vegetables?
Well, my thought is places like Alabama where it was illegal to sell dildos and shit, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers act like, you know, women ain't sticking it in their pussy. Like, you know, the upright, judgmental fucking, you know, ironclad fire and brimstone fucking preachers probably got, you know, fucking potato stuck in his fucking asshole right now. You know what I mean?
Preacher Potato Asshole is my favorite the Animals album. So anyways, but going back to the conspiracy thing, so you know about QAnon?
You keep talking about it, bro, but I ain't never heard it. Like I don't know nothing about it.
It's the alleged pedophile ring, large elite pedophile ring. Jeffrey Epstein.
This is like the 15th time you've changed the description of it, but I'm just gonna put it as an evolving group.
Yeah, there you go. What do you mean I've changed? No, Jeffrey Epstein was allegedly like
last time QA9 whatever it was in defense of Donald Trump and the secret government.
Yeah, you haven't let me unpack it yet. I'm just saying it had the thesis statement of QAnon is pedophiles, because apparently that's the worst thing in the world.
Okay, so QAnon, are they like the savior group exposing it, or is that the name of the evil group?
So you know all those like 4chans and Reddits and all those things that like fat Asians and people stealing memes are on? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm guessing. Go ahead.
Okay. So Q is an individual. Q allegedly is, and I'm butchering this and I don't give a fuck because I think it's ridiculous. Q is allegedly it's always a secret government guy who's like trying to fuck it. He's like the Edward Snowden of this whole operation. And he goes by Q. And I think it was 4chan or 2chan or one of those fucking chans.
It's probably Trump.
No, because the words are spelled correctly. So so QAnon is short for Q Anonymous, which is great because you should always get all your information from an anonymous source. Yeah. That way you don't have to cite it or take responsibility for it. So anyway, so what it is that prior to the election of Donald Trump, a cabal is the word they use of benevolent individuals approached Donald Trump and several people in the government and said, look, we're tired of people fucking kids, because like I said, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. There's nothing else worse than somebody having sex with a child. There's a little bit of sarcasm in my word. So that's what it is. And apparently when you're rich, you want to fuck little kids, I guess. And I'm not saying that doesn't exist, because there are people, but my personal preference, I like women way older than myself. So I think it's weird that like out of all desires you could ever want, you're going to want to fuck a kid. But anyways, so there's allegedly a lot of people high up in the government across the world that like to have sex with kids. So, yeah. and it ties into like Pizzagate and Hillary Clinton drinking blood and satanic worshiping and all that shit, Bohemian Hills or Bohemian Grove, whatever. So they approached the Trump campaign and they said, look, you're going to be the poster child. You're going to be the face of this movement. And so part of like what people have been doing is every stupid thing Trump does, every dumb decision he makes, everything that most rational people look at him and go, this man's he's an embarrassment, is actually just a facade put up where he's just, he like how you ever seen that video of him fucking drinking water all weird? No. Where he had like the tiny little glass with the two hands and he was like, this guy that I know who's deep into QAnon, he was like, well, that was Donald Trump signaling to the fucking makers of like bottled water that they were about to get arrested. So it was like their hands were in handcuffs. That's how crazy it gets. So anyways, it ties into I'm telling you, I didn't butcher that part. That's literally what he said.
That's fucking fire. That's fucking great.
I'm just saying, like, I'm glad people are keeping busy, and so this ties in to that whole QAnon thing. Circling back around is that when the fucking COVID broke out, and then remember Tom Hanks got it, and everybody was like, oh my, that's it. Tom Hanks fucking has it. That's the worst thing that could happen next to having sex with children. Well, there was a belief that was in line with the QAnon dictum that Tom Hanks was not actually in Australia under quarantine, is that he was actually under arrest because Tom Hanks is one of the Hollywood elites that likes to have sex with children. But Tom Hanks obviously hosted Saturday Night Live last night and is not under arrest. So,
yeah, but that doesn't mean he don't like to have sex with kids either.
That's true. Could you imagine Tom Hanks like trying to have sex with a little child? He's like, come here. I can't do a good Tom Hanks impression.
No, that sounded more like Cosby.
What if he's like doing the Gump voice? Mama said you gotta take your pants off. Yeah. Mama gave me special shoes. They said I could do this and not get in trouble.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe Forrest Gump was an allegory about about pedophilia.
Maybe Gump was on vacation. Maybe Gump was down there fucking Aborigine kids. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody
But
wants to fuck Aborigine.
I don't think it has nothing to do with no fucking conspiracy like motherfucking like signaling bottled water makers and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
No, that's what they believe. I love it.
Trump, like, man, like I had hopes that, you know what I'm saying, that among his fucking like just dumbass, like this nigga might shake things up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But
Why does everybody? Why is that a thing? Shake things up because
but
people
like
things shook up.
no, ain't none of that happened. That motherfucker got there and got the big head, went to talking crazy, and now his whole
Got the
family.
big head. He's had one for 40 years.
Now his whole family's, you know, becoming super fucking wealthy because I don't think they had all the money that they said they had. They had their name on a bunch of shit and they were well known, but they didn't have all the money everybody thought they had. Them like his son-in-law was bankrupt and shit, and fucking the government, foreign government started giving them money for the thing. Anyways, all that shit don't really matter. Fuck them. Like, the whole goddamn government corrupt. Like, and that's why I try to tell these motherfuckers, the president ain't no goddamn king. Everybody think that he can motherfucking just change shit and write executive orders and fucking ironclad motherfucking law and rule the land. That ain't the way it works.
Easy there, Chief. You know what I was thinking when you said his son-in-law? We're talking about Kushner, and I was thinking about this the other day. It bothers me that people in charge can be tiny little weenie people,
Wieners.
like little skinny, pale people with glasses and bushy mustaches and no muscle tone, and I would be more comfortable if like our world leaders were like Idiocracy, like Hector Camacho, Mountain Dew, whatever his name was, you know, Terry Crews and Idiocracy, big buff, veiny, giant cock diesel swole people were in charge. I would feel better about that. Like, here's the Secretary of Defense. This motherfucker walks up and he's gunning a muscle milk. You know what I mean? He's got chicks with fucking like, or they could keep it civil. You could be in a suit, but you know, it look like you look like The Rock.
I'm just tired of seeing old wrinkle neck, fucking limp dick, motherfucking antiques.
That's true.
You know,
like Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean? Schwarzenegger, he didn't necessarily do a good job, but he was buff, and then we can appreciate that.
You know, I'm just saying, I'm tired of these. We're like 3 generations ahead of us, fucking ruling us. Like, these motherfuckers are stuck in 52. They don't even know what the fuck's going on. You know.
Well, here I got something for you. So let's get back on track. And I've pulled up, and this is Business Insider. Now, I would take Business Insider as a more neutral, fact-based kind of publication. Or I might be wrong. I don't know. I did no research. But for the sake of the 4 people that listen, we're going to talk about the timeline behind the COVID-19 and where it started. Let me dip my toe in this pool real quick. There was an issue with the current president calling it the Chinese virus. People get mad.
It did start in China.
It did start in China. But I will say this. If you watched the press conference when he originally did it, so clearly Donald Trump has a beef with China. And if you ever read his book, The Art of the Deal, he's always had a beef with China. It's like a personal thing. It's not like he's benevolent and he's trying to, protect it. He personally has a beef with China. Probably couldn't sell any fucking VCRs there or something in '88. But anyways, he did say that China tried to blame it on Americans. So, and then he started calling the Chinese virus. I believe that's his motivation. But anyways, I digress.
Does it matter? Does it matter?
No, not at all. It's just it's a point of contention.
It just sounds
really
like
no base.
It just sounds like it's something that Anderson Cooper can talk shit about on CNN.
I love Anderson Cooper, by the way.
So he looks like he goes to fucking, family farm petting fucking zoos and lets sheep sit on his fucking face.
Heavy petting zoo. I remember Anderson Cooper when I was in elementary school. There used to be a thing called Channel 1. So you go to your first class, and it was like the news for kids. And Anderson Cooper, I remember they always used to send him to like really, you know, he'd be like reporting from the field, but he'd be like in Bosnia in a bunker where they're getting shelled. And he was the guy they were sending to really dangerous fucking assignments. And he'd be like, "This is Anderson Cooper inside a cannon, a howitzer cannon in Bosnia Herzegovina." And we're kids and we're like, well, I don't know what the fuck that is.
On the green screen. And then he was a Vanderbilt. Like, I think he was kin to the Vanderbilt.
He is a Vanderbilt. Gloria Vanderbilt is his mother. And she has passed. So more pedophilic elites are gone.
He looks like he probably got like a 9-year-old boy in the closet.
No, he's gay. Pedophiles are usually not homosexuals. They like little girls.
Look, no, far more boys get fucking touched than girls.
You're talking Catholicism. That's a different thing.
Yeah, look, they're all linked. It's all the same shit. And Catholicism, they do fucking rituals and shit with little boy assholes.
I mean, that could be communion. But so, the timeline, COVID. December 31st, 2019. Of course, it has to be the last day of the year. The Chinese health officials informed the WHO about a cluster of 41 patients with a mysterious pneumonia. Most were connected to Hunan seafood wholesale markets. You ever hear about them fucking wet markets?
Yeah.
Okay. My big thing is that, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, take offense if you want to, Asian people are monsters. They eat fucking just any living thing. If you think it's cute, some Asian guy is eating it in some broth somewhere. But there's a lot of them. What do you do? So 41 people they fucking thought was like pneumonia. And it ended up being this COVID thing.
Uh-huh.
January 1st, the very next day, right? Imagine this is Contagion. Imagine you see Matt Damon running around. It's a static, scene. Chinese authorities closed Hunan seafood wholesale market. Going back, these fucking wet markets are disgusting. It's just live animals or animals sitting out like when they got ducks hanging by their fucking necks. You know what I mean? They don't have freezer sections. They don't have like the visicoolers.
I got it already. You believe that this is a legitimate infection. Okay, go ahead.
This motherfucker came from bat soup, you wrinkly fuck.
No virus. They said jumps as fast as it did from animal to human, from human to human. They said that it's common for viruses to jump from an animal to a human or whatever over a period of time, but it takes usually a lot of time for it to then jump from human to human. And this one made leaps and bounds in a very short time. I don't know. All that shit going on in Wuhan, I think the motherfuckers, I think that shit got out on them and they let it out.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. So from January 1st until January 11th was the first death linked to this thing. We allegedly, because I'm sure China censors movies, so I'm sure we're getting the whole truth from China.
I was talking about it on the news earlier, talking about the suppression of the facts, and then they hit a bunch of, even in America, we hit a bunch of the numbers because the people had died and we didn't test them. So we did it as random respiratory infection, death, or whatever, instead of attributing it to the COVID.
Well, the crazy thing is too is since China is so secretive, and they it's weird. So the government doesn't like looking bad, or they don't like people talking shit about them, but they're a bad government. So you're failing in that. So it's like, yeah, you can suppress all the people and you can black bag jail people, but everybody knows you're still fucking corrupt. It's like Saudi Arabia. It's like you're terrible people. You can't just fucking, you can't gag a couple people and be like, nobody will know that we're terrible.
Yeah. So that makes me wonder, like, why do people let them get away with it?
What do you do? Like in Mexico. They're like, oh, this fucking leader is corrupt. Oh, this leader is corrupt. Oh, these police are corrupt. Well, it's like, well, I mean, at some point, you guys got to stop being so fucking superstitious and thinking about and you need to get out there and pull a Hong Kong.
Well, they need to quit goddamn letting the American government prop up a corrupt fucking
Don't
government.
you dare say anything bad about the American government, sir.
Okay. Well, I mean, look at fucking you. If you think
Do you want
Nancy Trump,
socialism?
if you think
You want
Nancy
red
Trump,
lines?
if you think Nancy Trump ain't motherfucking down there, goddamn fucking doing backroom fucking deals, taking it in the ass, with Big Orange Daddy, it ain't. Well, you need to
Nancy
re-educate.
Trump?
Nancy Trump. Yeah, they've been fucking for 60 years.
So January 13th, the first coronavirus case was reported outside of China in Thailand, or as we like to call it, New China. I mean, is there really a fucking big difference about this stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's be completely white about this. 61-year-old female tourist, and it happens amongst the old people. There's also going back to the conspiracy theory that this is a way to rid the world of old people, which I don't completely disagree with. Ever seen the movie Logan's Run in the 70s? I think it was at the age of 30 or 33 you were killed. So nobody in society was over 30. So Logan was like, he was like 29, and there was 6 days before his birthday, and then he was trying to escape the death squads and stuff like that.
I thought didn't they like send them to an island or another world or some shit?
I don't know. I didn't really see it. I just read that on the Wikipedia, but it's a good movie, I heard. But you know what I mean? Like, okay, and let me be abundantly clear about this too. So I live in Southern California currently. There's a lot of fucking people. There's a lot of traffic. Traffic is fucking terrible. I hate that people just accept it as a thing. I'm not one of those people who'd be like, that's what you get mad at? Yeah, motherfucker, because it eats my life up. So
yeah, but you know, you make the choice to be there. So I mean, isn't that kind of like self-sabotage?
No, and that's very true. I make the choice to be here, so I accept it. But this pandemic has cleared the fucking streets. I love it. I love it. There's nobody on the freeway.
I'm just curious how long before motherfuckers really start robbing, and are they already robbing and keeping it out the news? Because I'm gonna tell you now, there's some poor people in the world, and they probably ain't got no food and shit. And I'm just wondering how they getting it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, how long are people really gonna be hemmed up before there's motherfucking chaos in the streets for real? Fuck a virus.
Well,
like,
dude,
you know,
why do you think African Americans have a higher are disproportionately affected? That's the answer. No, I'm kidding.
fuck you.
Read the title of the podcast, cocksucker. Oh yeah, let's not get mad at that. The motherfuckers are still going to birthday parties.
I'm saying, you know, I mean, it's the same. You got poor whites, you got poor blacks, you got fucking poor Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the Chinese virus. I mean, what the fuck are you supposed to do with that?
I like the one thing I will say about Trump is I like when somebody asked him, because he's as deep as a kiddie pool. You know what I mean? So somebody's like, why do you call it the Chinese virus? And he's like, because it came from China.
Yeah, China, motherfucker. Like, get the fuck out of here.
So January 20th.
There's a part of me that really likes and appreciates the simplicity of Trump.
Oh God, I can't stand it because it makes people stupid. It'd be one thing if he was that way by himself. That's why I liked him when he was just a fucking playboy. But he's infecting people with it.
Well, the problem is the cult. You know, people love to be sheep and they love to follow. Okay. And these motherfuckers will go to the deep end of the pool with no air in their fucking lungs. You know what I'm saying? and it blows my fucking mind because you can hear bullshit. Like, you can see the bullshit when he's making up shit or he's backtracking some shit. And they forget
when he does that
everything
underbite thing.
Huh?
When he does the underbite thing, he's lying. You ever watch him when he grabs the podium and he looks around and he goes,
yeah, just the jaw rock, the Yankee jaw.
He's about to lie.
Well, that's what we used to call it, the Yankee jaw. Then people would come from up north with there, and they always had that chin poked out.
It's like when you play a video game and the boss's eyes glow, and you're like, oh, he's about to attack. Yeah, that's Trump's poker tell.
Yeah, yeah. You know, but part of it's refreshing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, part of it, you know, but then like the other 98%, It's like, what the fuck are you doing, Wiener? You know, like you're fucking, you're what the fuck are you doing? You know,
He's like the drunk brother at the wedding who's doing the fucking speech, talking about how many chicks his brother used to bang, and everybody's sitting there going, just shut up, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, what the
please.
fuck? What the fuck was the nigga's name from National Lampoon?
Which one? There's several.
The brother, the old drunk brother.
Oh, Cousin Eddie.
Yeah, Cousin Eddie. Old Cousin Eddie head ass nigga.
So it's settled. April 12th, 2020. Donald Trump will now be referred to as Cousin Eddie. Repeat Offender Podcast. You heard it here first. Yeah. Now here's a word from our sponsor. Brought to you by Burn, the first dating app for people with herpes. So January 20th is an important date in American history. That is the date that the first U.S. case was reported in Snohomish County, Washington. It reminds me of Enumclaw, Washington, which is where Mr. Hands, the man that was that had received anal sex from a horse and died because of a perforation to his colon. We have afterwards listen, and we'll have a way to donate to the family, and we will announce the names of people who donated because you gave to you donated to a family whose father had sex with a horse.
Or whose horse had sex with a human. Because if they had a perforated asshole, that means that the horse was having sex.
And there's the debate about that, because is that animal cruelty? Because they're like, the horse couldn't consent. It's like, well, he didn't need to consent. He was doing the fucking.
He was doing the fucking.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't picture a guy with a woman.
We'll leave that to a bald-headed college girl in California to argue on the steps with no fucking deodorant and armpit hair.
I hear a lot of you in that story.
Well, I went through a trying time one time when I was about never.
There you go. So January 30th, the World Health Organization declared a public health emergency of international concern. Now, this is around the same time that Donald Trump, keep going back to him. It's important because you got to focus on the leaders. This is around the same time that Donald Trump, at one of his rallies, had claimed that this is just a hoax perpetrated by the Democratic Party to make him look bad. Now, just to clarify, he didn't say the virus itself is a hoax. He said the commotion and the hoopla surrounding it is a hoax, and that it's not that big a deal because shortly after, a few weeks after, him and Larry Kudlow had declared victory over COVID. So about early February, Donald Trump, President of the United States, had declared victory over the coronavirus that now in mid-April we are still affected by and has drastically tarnished the economy in the United States. Just wanted to throw that in there as a footnote.
Look, you gotta leave Donald Pelosi alone.
Did you say Donald Pussy or Nancy Pelosi's pussy?
Yeah, Donald Pelosi. Yeah, he's Nancy's pussy.
Here's the thing. Yeah. For an older woman, she got that turkey neck going on. I bet it still looks pretty good down.
I bet that bitch wear latex and shit and probably post on fucking Tumblr as a fucking dom with a mask.
And let homeless black people jerk off on her feet.
You know, and lick her boots and shit. Yeah. I totally see it.
Just do this for me. Next time you see Pelosi, just imagine her with some bondage gear underneath her clothes.
Yeah, she probably does. That bitch probably got a Wii Vibe hooked to her phone.
Dude, she got one of those butterflies, those fucking remote control butterflies on her clip that look like a miner's helmet.
I bet she got a prolapsed asshole. She be stretching.
And Schumer's got the remote and he's just pressing it.
No, he's probably wearing the fucking the gargantuan ass plug. He looked like a big plug nigga. Yeah.
No, he's Jewish. He has sex through a hole in a sheet.
I don't know that he's really Jewish.
But that's for another one. So January 31st, President Trump banned foreign nationals from entering the U.S. if they had been to China within 2 weeks prior.
And then the leaders of your party said that he was a racist.
I'm not speaking for anybody. So in my mind, that was a good idea. We've done that several times. Especially when Ebola struck, they said if you had visited here's the thing too. If you've ever given blood in the past 30 years, on the questionnaire before you donate, it asks if you've been to any parts of Africa.
They told me I had too much fat in my blood.
I would imagine if somebody drew a vial of your blood, there'd be a nutrition facts chart on it.
Well, the motherfucker said that I had just ate like 3 bacon junior cheeseburgers.
Did you?
And yeah.
Well, he fucking called that one, didn't he?
Well, no, he asked me like have I ate anything recently? I said I just fucked up 3 bacon cheeseburgers on the way here.
3? Junior bacon or regular bacon?
No, junior bacon cheeseburgers, man. It was like $1.29.
Okay, all right. Well, then that's actually just the size of a regular one.
Yeah, so 3 of them, whatever. So it was like twice. I get 3 times the bread for the same price as a double or a triple. You know what I mean?
It's like paying for those fake Adidas for less money. You get more stripes.
Yeah.
So contrary to February 2nd, the first COVID-related death outside of China was recorded in the Philippines. The Philippines currently is the country where they shoot drug dealers on site, and they're what's the guy's name? Rodrigo or whatever. No, Roduro, whatever. That motherfucker's telling the cops to shoot people that are like outside during quarantine.
I'm tired of motherfuckers. I'm tired of motherfuckers acting crazy and shit, fucking up, man. Like, humans, gonna use drugs. They've used drugs forever. They gonna use drugs forever. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers need to quit trying to tell motherfuckers how to live, man. Like, I'm tired of this old school Puritan fucking overzealous fucking goddamn religion control fucking cult and fucking Uncle Daddy government. I'm gonna tell you what to do and how to live or incarcerate or kill you. You know what I'm saying? I'm about tired of it, man.
Well, you got to get paid. You make it in a sleazy way, selling crack to the kids. You made a G today, that kind of thing. Cream, dollar bill, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. February 7th. Now, this is an important thing, going back to the very trustworthy and ethical Chinese government. February 7th, Chinese doctor and novel coronavirus whistleblower Li Wenliang died of coronavirus. Now, do you think he died of coronavirus, or do you think he died with a black bag over his head strapped to a fucking couple of electrodes that were attached to his nuts?
Good question.
Because they said he was forced to sign a letter acknowledging that he made false comments.
I don't know.
China.
Yeah, jaw rock.
February 8th, the U.S. citizen died in Wuhan. The first from that country. So the first U.S. death died in Wuhan. Let's skip ahead because some of this shit's boring. We already know this. We're not deep into this. They announced that the disease caused by the new coronavirus would be called COVID-19. Now, I am not a smart man, and I found out recently that COVID is coronavirus disease. Like it's an acronym thing, and it really upset me. I thought it was something else. We just fucking shortened it like the military does for stuff. Fucking sad. Let's get to a good one. What's a good one? I want more people dead here. A Chinese tourist who tested positive for the virus died in France, becoming Europe's first death tied to the outbreak. But it was a Chinese citizen in Europe. So those are weird things. An outbreak began in Iran. The COVID spiked in Italy. Italy's been fucking ravaged by this thing, or not. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they've just been killing off pedophiles.
Maybe, everybody did fucking ancestry.com and they found a fucking undesirable gene, and they wanted to cleanse a few people, or maybe they wanted to knock off a few people and they needed to cover them up in a motherfucking thing, or maybe some shit got out of the lab, or maybe this is just part of the fucking flu and they're using it to their fucking advantage. And maybe it's a bunch of people. Maybe we're in the fucking Matrix and the shit ain't even real.
Maybe you don't think it's real.
I don't know.
Maybe we're in the Matrix. I'll be honest with you. If when you think back to the Matrix, right, and they were like, "Do you want to live on this ship and eat gruel?" and everybody's got like holes in their sweaters and stuff like that, or do you want to just fake it till you fucking make it, be eating a steak, hanging out? I'd kind of rather just do that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you ever seen Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay? He's out there fucking calling people retarded and stupid all the time. And these people are trying to win this contest. But it's like, okay, but after you win, that's your boss. Like, that's who you work for now.
Yeah, I can't fuck with niggas like that, man. I hate bullies, you know what I'm saying? That's why I fell out. I become disillusioned with the nigga Trump, man, because, like, I hate a nigga that try and punk people. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't get down like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no time for it. Like, your tone's all wrong. You know what I'm saying? You looking at a nigga crazy.
Hey, you're talking to my friend wrong. It's the wrong tone.
Yeah, you're talking all fucking wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like some of these people just need to get punched in their asshole one time. You know what I'm saying? Just bam, just fucking forearm fuck them in the ass.
Have you ever been kicked in the asshole?
No.
It's not a good feeling. No, when I was in the Navy, not a precursor to what I'm going to say, but I don't know if you know, but they're called flight deck boots, and they're like regular boots, but they're like flatter, kind of longer. And I got kicked by one of those, and it went right there, and it hit me just outside the crater of my ass. It fucking hurt. It sent some shockwaves. I can think about it now. It's kind of giving me PTSD talking about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward March 19th. Italy placed all 60 million of its residents on lockdown. Like I said, it's ravaging fucking Italy. And you know why? Because of what I've heard is that all their families live together. COVID. Like, you got the grandparents in the basement, you got like the family, and then you got the kids in the third floor, which is like, how the fuck do these people have 3-story houses? But anyways, shout out to Italy. Never been there. I'd like to go. Wait till you guys are done being sick, though. And that's March 9th. And it wasn't until the 11th that the WHO declared this bitch a pandemic. Right? Almost 1 month. Well, it's the 12th today. So on the 11th. So 31 days ago is when they were like, this isn't just some fucking flu. You guys need to wash your hands. This is a fucking problem. Right?
Yeah, nigga, it's a problem. Niggas out here, motherfucking, got a potential to be bad, nigga, and wipe out a quarter of the population and shit. We can't do that because then we'll have too many houses.
Too many houses is a good thing, though. Then it drops the price.
Yeah, but it don't stimulate the economy. There's nothing
fuck the economy. It's not even real.
Nothing that stimulates the fucking economy. It's like America has created itself a fucked up vacuum, and that's why people are pushing for the fucking immigrants and shit. It's not because they care, and that's why the right wing is trying to protect the fetuses from abortion. It's because of the next generation of tax base. If you're not growing, you're dying. You know what I'm saying? And white people, they quit having babies, so they're like, oh fuck, you know what I'm saying? What are we gonna do?
You know what I think is weird about this whole pandemic thing? And I know this is a spoiler alert, a hugely unpopular opinion. And I'm sorry.
Did no one you know is sick?
No. I know you have it. But what I'm saying is,
I'm in isolation. Don't make a fuck. I'm getting paid.
The thing that bothers me about this whole thing is that every time something happens, people want to be appreciated in their jobs. So all of a sudden, all the truck drivers and all the grocery store workers, all these people are like, yeah, now you appreciate us. Do your fucking job. Don't go to work if you want appreciation.
Truck drivers are ate up anyway, because fuck nigga, you know what I'm saying? You going out here all this crazy ass time taking bullshit motherfucking ways, nigga, driving across the road, living in a motherfucking cab like a prison on wheels. And you ain't smart enough to ask for more money? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's just, did truck drivers feel fucking unappreciated? Do they walk through crowds and people spit at them and push them aside and say you're nobody?
I'm just saying, who the fuck gets a lease purchase program and drives the truck pays the truck off, gets one payment from it, and then does a $1 buyout with the company for a brand new truck. And then they give the company a fucking truck to sell for one payment it's still worth $65,000, $70,000. You know what I'm saying? That they've just paid for. And so all they're doing is making money for the fucking company. But, oh, well, I got me a new one. Bitch, nigga, you was $1,100 from owning that truck that you could have sold on your own and then did another lease purchase with the company and had another truck. Or you could have kept that one and kept that $1,200 a week in your pocket and actually made the money that you were setting out to do. Like, weak-ass niggas, like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know.
I hear a lot of you in the story once again. Shout out to anybody listening that wants to be a truck driver. That was Financial Times Minute with Thomas.
I'm just saying. Weak ass niggas. Like, don't get mad at me if you see your bitch on the gram with another man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
with
nigga,
a truck
that ain't
from Daimler Chrysler.
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Don't come to work with a bad attitude and beast on me. If you can't control your bitch, nigga, you damn sure ain't better motherfucking be getting right with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not smart. It's not smart.
The more you know. March 13th, the U.S. declares a national emergency over the coronavirus, right? A leaked federal plan warns the virus will last 18 months or longer and come in multiple waves of infection.
Yeah.
March 19th, China reportedly no new locally spread infections for the first time. I'm sure that's true.
So that's that second point back. You're talking about a wave over 18 months, multiple waves. Now, I'm wondering if this was just like a psychological preparation for people. Now, in these next waves, are they going to be the legitimate coronavirus, or are they going to be tweaked in a lab, or are we going to have some biological warfare going on? Like, and more importantly, what's in the rest of the bill that they passed that we're not talking about? What's in the rest of them fucking 8,000 pages or whatever it is? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's in there. Okay, however many pages. You get what I'm saying?
Are you talking about the stimulus bill?
It's not even a stimulus. It's not even a stimulus. Most Americans are going to have to pay that shit back on their taxes. It's an advance on next year's tax rebate.
Yeah, but they expanded the earned income credit and the child tax credit. So most people that are going to get it anyways that fall under the 75,000, they're going to be able to write that off. So that 1,200 is going to be a blip in the radar.
Mm-hmm.
March 26th.
I'm just saying none of it makes sense. The math don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? The 900 billion or whatever to the army, the rest of the shit, the corporate fucking welfare, let them bitches fall. Let them fall and then rebuild. I mean, that's supposed to be the American way. That's the equalizer. Why are we propping up multinational fucking corporations in this fucking 500 employee fucking company is not small business. Small business is Thomas and Sean starting a fucking flower shop and employing the fucking kids after school. That's a small fucking business.
What I think is funny is, financial experts always tell you that you should have 6 months money saved up, that if you lost your job and stuff like that, and then these corporations, we've been going through this shit for like a little over a month now, and they're already asking for bailout money. So it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have been paying all your CEOs and top executives and managers and capital gains and all the money flying around, and now you can't sustain the business. And then once again, the taxpayer stimulus package, where the money comes from, because the government's not making all the money off stamps, then it has to come out and has to pay for that. But then what's funny too, back to some kind of political bias here, the same kind of people that for the past couple of years talking about Bernie Sanders being president, they're like, how are we going to pay for that? How are we going to pay for that? They're fucking quiet. It's crickets whenever it comes to corporate bailouts. Nobody ever said, whenever
that's what I try to tell these right wing.
We were going to give $12 billion to the corporate farmers because of Trump's tariffs, and then nobody was like, well, how are we going to pay for that? That's a lot of fucking money.
To tell these fucking wieners that fucking work, man. These fucking right wing fucking nuts, right? But I lean right, so I'm not. This ain't a left and right argument.
You lean right because one leg is shorter.
These fucking right wing motherfuckers that they keep talking about black and brown and food stamps and Medicare and all this. I talked to this fucking boy from the mountains from Wyoming, and he has no world knowledge or life experience outside of fucking Wyoming. So he believes all this black and brown shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to communicate to him like, motherfucker, we're spending 10 times the amount of fucking money that we do on stamps and Medicaid and insurance for all would cost on fucking corporate welfare. Like, you know, this free market shit you're talking about, it's not even a fucking free market. Like, we don't let none of them collapse. We don't let nobody build up. We don't level fucking terms. They're not staying within their cash flow. They're not doing smart business. They're gambling taxpayer money. Like, the stocks are fucking falsely inflated. Like Netflix trading at 100 years profit. Like, who the fuck? I mean, what the fuck is Netflix? They're not going to be here in 100 fucking years. They make nothing.
Yeah, they will. CBS has been around for almost 100 years at this point.
Look, everybody's already getting tired of Netflix. They've already seen everything worth watching on it. And now their catalog's falling because everybody is wanting to start their own.
We got cable. I would gladly take Netflix back. But here, check this out.
In years, man. I'm a streamer like all day, but I'm on demand, nigga. Like if you're not appeasing it, it's time to up. And then you keep trying to inch my money up $1 at a time. Like what the fuck you mean $2 more? What the fuck you mean if I add another TV? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Ain't happening.
Shout out to Tiger King. Haven't seen it. Don't spoil it. March 26th. This is an important benchmark. The U.S. leads the world with 82,404 confirmed cases, surpassing China and Italy. USA #1 on top again.
Yeah, but don't believe anything China says because we don't know what their numbers are.
Right. You know what I mean? Fast forward April 7th. U.S. reportedly the highest single-day death toll for any country, more than 1,900 people. That's 1,900 less people on the freeways.
I'm just saying that, like, and we don't even know how many people really infected because most people ain't getting tested and got turned away.
Bro, have you seen those fucking tests?
They didn't meet the fucking standards. But then the problem with not meeting the standards is that the fucking symptoms are always changing. So nobody even knows what the symptoms are to rightfully be getting tested.
And you know what's crazy? Whenever shit like this happens, if you look at like the CDC and their readiness prepared checklists and stuff, it's always the same thing, whether it be like virus, biological warfare, aliens, fucking nuclear war, anything. They're like, wash your hands, stay 6 feet away from people. Like, who's getting paid to write these things? What genius is like, here, let's tell them the most important thing right now, guys, is wash your hands. Somebody's getting paid to spread that information out there.
Yeah.
By April 7th, roughly 95% of all Americans under some form.
I think they should have mailed every fucking citizen fucking test kits and then let them mail in, and then they could have spot checked weekly. They could have spot checked and seen the outbreak, and then they could have seen the negatives. They seen the growth rate. They could have seen the clusters. They could have seen all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is you got a nigga like me who's like, I ain't sticking that in my nose. Like, I don't know.
That's what I was saying, dude. Did you see that fucking test? Did you see how far they got to go in? Yeah. It makes me gag thinking about that. There's like somebody's got to come out, like spit in it or something or pee on it, but it's got to go all the way.
I would probably took my own Q-tip and jug my nose and then send that in, but I'm not letting some stranger with coronavirus on that fucking thing give me coronavirus.
Did you hear when you're talking about clustering? And this is the kind of shit that ignites the conspiracy theorists. Is that Apple and Google and all the giant companies, they teamed up to be able to, I think it was to monitor people's phones.
Yeah.
That way they could tell like who has it in some way, I guess. Like if you're texting somebody like, oh, bro, I got coronavirus. So on April 10th, the global death toll surpassed 100,000 people. 100,000 people. That's a lot of people dead in a month.
Well, then you got to think about it too, because they just launched this 5G thing.
Oh,
and then
Jesus. No.
And then the workers are saying, the workers are saying that the radiation kills some people.
God damn it, dude! I will fucking talk chemtrails before 5G.
But you're right though. I was waiting on it. It might be from the chemtrails. We don't know what the fuck going on.
Fucking chemtrails.
So you got a little nigga like Kim Jong-un who can never take us on militarily, but he has sent his cousin over here fucked up, infected with some shit, and turn him loose like motherfucking Mission Impossible, and motherfucking get everybody in this bitch sick. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying that that's what happened, but America need to start thinking a little bit different, and then you need to start thinking about the Chinese people, right? Now I'm not fear mongering, but um,
but I'm gonna.
everybody don't remember the Cold War. They don't remember the Red Scare. They don't remember or even know the history. But the closest thing I can equate that to is the way they were doing the Islam mosque and the terrorist cells and shit like that. But people have forgot for over 100 years we've been bringing in the Chinese, and most of these Chinese people are just like the old Russians were. They're loyal to the fucking motherland, even though most of them ain't never even seen it or haven't been there in 60 years. So you got a fucking standing army in our fucking country. They came here and they own restaurants and businesses and they're part of their doctors and all this crazy shit, but they're loyal to a land that they hate. So at any moment, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why we're not monitoring them, as sleeper cells instead of the fucking Muslims. Is it just that the Muslims are easy targets? You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to upset the fucking 18 billion fucking Chinese in the world. I mean, I don't know what the plan is there. You know what I mean?
Well, first, there's only 7 billion people on the planet.
It doesn't matter. They multiply like roaches.
Are you wondering why they're not monitoring China? Because I think they're monitoring China pretty hard.
No, I'm talking about the Chinese in the United States.
I think they are.
Okay, because I'm saying that a lot of them Chinese
it's a website.
people,
It's an app called where'swoo.com.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just saying because a lot of the Chinese are loyal to the homeland. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, the Chinese food's changed over like the past 20 years. Now, I'm not saying that
eat Americanized Chinese food.
I'm not saying the things are related. I'm not saying the two things are related. Okay, but that could be a warning flag to some people. Hold on, jaw rock.
Over there, they're talking about me. They're talking about Hillary Clinton. And then Obama comes on. He's like, Did you fucking see that the Surgeon General that I posted it?
I couldn't even watch it. I seen you share it,
bro,
and I could not even watch it. I'm like, there's no fucking way this Uncle Tom motherfucker said some shit like that.
Bro, he even said it like the whitest way possible. Now, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Just keep in mind, because I really don't give a fuck if you consider how I am and how I treat people with respect. I think racistly though. I like my people to be stereotyped. So if you're black, I need you to be talking like Thomas here. If you're gay, I need you to be completely flamboyant. Like I need you. It's just you're a lot more fun that way. You know what I mean? So if you got the Surgeon General who's Obama black and he's up there and he's like, listen, if you're out there, the Mexicans and the black people, you got your big mamas and your big daddies and your abuelitas.
Yeah.
Don't say it like white people say it, because this is why white people shouldn't say the N-word. Now, if you can, it doesn't roll off your tongue musically. You know what I mean? That's why I don't say it, because it just sounds stupid coming out of my mouth. But, like Obama would get up there and he's like, if you have your big mamas and your abuelitas, your Ray Rays, your June Bugs, your favorite uncle, your dime piece, your side piece, you get out there, you get jiggy with it. It's important.
The Big Dick Michelle.
Have you got Big Dick Michelle? You like your trannies, your boonies, your sack chasers, your bug chasers. Get on with your bad self. But so, in closing, because we should wrap this up, we're currently right here, April 12th, midst of the pandemic. They keep talking about flattening the curve, all this bullshit, less cases coming in. There's going to be a problem when they say that they can reopen the economy, because whatever that means, letting people go back. There's going to be half the population that are like, okay, fuck yeah, I can't wait to get back. There's going to be the other half like, you're dirty and germy, and I don't want to be around that. Long story short, the fucking society will not ever be the same after this. There's going to be new rules. There's going to be new regulations. Things have fallen. Stuff will have disappeared. We'll have a new way of doing things, like after 9/11. You know what I mean? After 9/11, you got to fucking take your shoes off to get on an airplane. It's going to be that kind of thing. We're going to have some kind of weird new regulation. There's going to be probably like handheld monitors to check your temperature whenever you go to a public place. Ultimately, this, if you're a conspiracy theorist, you look at it like these are how they change society, not with a bang, but with a whimper. Small little things that change the course of society. We accept them, kind of like the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act went along smoothly because we thought the only way that we could catch terrorists is if we're monitoring every single fucking person on Earth. And it's beautiful and it's terrifying and it's breathtaking at the same time. And just to be self-referential here, I think it's important, which is the idea of why I always wanted to do this podcast, is that no matter what happens, we're still going to have the Mel Brooks way of looking at things. We're still going to be harsh. There's no need to be nice. You got to accept who you are. You gotta embrace your stereotypes. And as the world becomes more nerfed, as people walk on eggshells, it's important to still be abrasive out there, because being nice to people isn't going to change society. If I'm fucking nice, if I give a homeless guy $1, you know what I mean, and I help an old lady across the street, and you bang an ugly chick or you do something nice for society, you're still going to have horrendous draconian laws. You're still going to have murder, rape, DUIs. You're still going to have, fat women in stretchy pants. You're still going to have rude foreigners. It's how it goes. So I don't know what I was getting at here. Thomas looks like he's dying. But I think we should thank our sponsor.
Yeah, I think we're fucked. So but that's it.
Yeah, no, we definitely are fucked, because it doesn't get better, happier, nicer. It's like that whole, when people say, oh, I wish it was like September 12th because everybody was nicer and friendlier and we were all Americans. Okay, but then September 13th, that fucking all fell apart. I don't know. I wasn't in the United States when that happened. But it's like your mom's underwear or a rubber band. It just snaps back into place no matter what. So what do you do about it? You just press on, you pay the hooker ahead of time, you drink the booze, you eat the dessert, you enjoy your life, because who fucking knows? A pandemic virus could kill you one day, or you can get run over on your way to work, or somebody could burn the fucking hotel room you're staying in. You know what I mean? That's the best thing. And the worst thing about life is that the universe is unkind. And not that it's unkind or malevolent. It's just that it's impartial. It doesn't care whether you're a good person or a bad person. You're going to die. And with that, I'd like to thank the Chernobyl Parks and Recreation. I'd like to shout out to Lead Paint. Shout out to the World Health Organization. Even though you're not a sponsor, you could be. Email me at therepeatoffender@gmail.com. We can get you going on there. Thomas, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think we said a whole bunch. We ain't said nothing.
We ain't said fuck all. So thanks to the four people that listen to us. I think we have somebody in Australia. We just picked up somebody in Iran. So I could disappear in a couple weeks.
Damn.
But episode 43, Wuhan, got you all in check. I'm gonna be posting this up soon. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Breaker, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, basically wherever you can find your podcast. Be sure to hit us up. Tell us likes, dislikes, comments, make fun of us, show us naked pictures of your wives or Thomas' favorites.
And quit goddamn reporting us on fucking Facebook for community guidelines, you motherfuckers.
I mean, you got to be, people are like washing their hands and then they meet a chick at a bar 30 minutes later eating ass. So, yeah. But doesn't matter if you're standing in line waiting to get into a grocery store and some old lady starts coughing behind you. Doesn't matter if you didn't take the baby wipes and you're still going to touch that doorknob. No matter what happens, if you're getting dragged off a bus because you don't have a surgical mask on, never, ever go quietly. Peace.